Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back, ladies and gents. So for those who didn't watch the first video on how like I was showing you guys how to draw support resistance lines, right? I showed you how to draw support resistance lines correctly. I showed you how to draw support resistance lines the way that I do it, right? I don't like to use the like the top of the wig or the bottom of the wig. Like I'm not like that. If you guys haven't watched that video before, like you can call it a part one, whatever you want to call it. But I just want to show you how to draw it. Now, I know that I said that I wasn't gonna show you like how to use it because, like I said, the point of this channel is to give the brain bits and pieces like a puzzle, so then you can do the work as it is. I don't want to overload the brain. I don't. All right. So this is just going to be gauged towards showing you things that I know will elevate your trading. Okay. So also with the mix of like other educational things that either I get like requested to like create or whatever the case is. But so we're on the subject of support and resistance, right? So drawing support and resistance properly is or correctly, drawing support and resistance correctly is very important, because if you don't, it can heavily affect your style of trading. Right now, I'm not saying you have to be a support and resistance type of trader. It doesn't matter what kind of trader you are. Point is that when you use support and resistance, it's highly suggested that you put market structure into that. Right now, I'm gonna go more into that into the market structure videos, but for now, right, like as you can see, like I got the bar replay here, right? Because this is when I was showing you guys how and gals like how to do the support resistance lines and how to draw them. I mean, so how I draw support resistance lines, for those that don't know, is a real recap, quick recap. I do it off the like if I get a big impulsive move, I do it off the line chart. Boom, 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 boom. So I'll draw this real quick, just so sake of mind, right? At this point, right? Price was around here or something, somewhere around here yesterday. Yeah, because I did the bar replay. So price was around here yesterday, right? Or whenever this was, like a day or two, few days ago, right? Excuse me. So now what I'm gonna show you is that basically when price gets to these type of levels, sometimes you can have a big reaction on them to where price can start to come back down, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and just start to play that out to where you see that price started to come right back down to where now it is, right? So this was about August 1st. So I believe like yesterday, day before I made the other video, but this is basically like now where it's at now. So imagine just like having that strategy that you have based around support resistance, right? So if you have a strategy based on support, like let's just create one like real quick strategy right now, right? So let's say that you have one here, right? And let's say that you're using the 4-hour chart, right? I'm not saying just only use one chart, like this is at your own discretion, but and let's say I'm gonna jump down to 1 hour, right? Just 1 more hour. And these are the rules, right, that I have here to draw them, right? How to draw support resistant lines. Rule number 1, draw the line chart for better clarity. Use the line chart for better clarity. And rule number 2, use only deep impulse and correction moves. That's it. Okay, I explained that in the other video. So let's say in this example, let's just say, right, let's say that price came up, right, to your area, and then now you're looking for a break of resistance, of support, excuse me. So let's just say that your entry would come about, let's say this candle broke under, right? That's a clean break, boom. And let's say you're going, let's say you're going for a 35, 36 pip move, and then you're gonna be like coming down to this support level, right? So that's a 4. So right now you're up about 3.5, right? So even if you went for a 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3 was the reward. like obviously TP, right? Minimum drawdown, and you got to raise 3% for the day. Like that's it, right? This one was already a 5, right? So TP, TP is a little bit over the line, but it's okay. It's okay if it's okay if it didn't quite hit it, right? Like it went up there, but whatever you want to call it, right? So I don't know if you want to count even spread hitting it, but regardless, right? Let's say you move your stop to maybe a 1-to-1, right? So let's say you got 1% here, but then a 3, that's 4%, right? However you want to call it, right? If you're up 5%, there's no reason you should even be having 1%. You should be like up like 2, 3 or at least on your stop loss trail, like training stop loss, or at least putting your stop loss to like at least a 1-to-3 if you're up 1-to-5. So regardless, right? Let's say this one you got in, and let's just say you missed this one, right? But then you got in this one, right? That's a 1-to-3. That's it, easy, right? So now going to what I was saying about the first video, right? That I made on support resistance, right? This I'm gonna show you the little trick, right? That I have here when you can actually like use this also even on the H4 time frame, right? So one thing that I love to use with my support resistance is like trend lines, right? So if I know that I have a bounce here and a bounce here, right? I'm just gonna highlight them just so we're clear, right? If I have a bounce here and a bounce there, right? What I'll do is I'll wait for price to end up giving me another low and then coming back. So when it starts to come back, right? When it starts to come back, right? So I got 1, 2, and now 3. When it starts to come back, I'm already like kind of hinting myself that something's about to happen in this area, right? So let's do this. Let's do this, right? So now I'm saying to myself, okay, cool. I want to see what price is going to do now in this area because it's starting to like get there, right? So now here's a little trick. I would draw trend line, right? That's going to end up at least minimum 2 to 3 touches, 2 to 3 touches, right? Now, for those who don't know what this pattern is, basically a retest of an area, right? So when you have a retest of an area, basically you have a bullish and a bearish. That's basically a wick on a higher time frame. Like that's it. Any bullish to bearish candlestick is a wick, right? Everybody knows that. If you don't, I don't know the type. So in this case, right now, when you have this of a trend line, right? Because we're looking for sells, we're not looking for buys. There's no reason to draw up trend like candle, like none, unless you're doing that for like a minor break or whatever the case is. So in this case, you're looking for the downtrend, right? So you're looking for sells to start coming in right about here, right? So now you're gonna wait for this area to give you something, right? So basically from this to this, right? This is your kill zone, if you want to call it, right? Something needs to happen in this area. So this is when you start to like, man, we can go down to the hourly chart. Let's just do that, right? You can start to see, okay, cool. Now you have here where you have, again, like, this is like just starting a retracement, right? So let's move this up here. So now, initially, like you could get in here, but then like your stop loss will be all the way up here, which is fine. So sometimes if you want to just like get in, that's fine. Like, hey, I know people who like automatically they just jump in like at a break of a lower candle, and then they put their stops right above the candle, and then they end up like targeting like another low or whatever the case is, right? So, but in this case, if you want to be like pattern driven, that's always like what I always suggest. Always be a pattern driven type of trader to where, okay, cool, I got some sort of strategy or rules to my trading, right? That's what you want to do. You see, because this is exactly my point. You get stopped out. So this is when you say, okay, cool. Now price hit my trend line, right? Price hit my trend line, right? Price hit my trend line. Now you're waiting for another pattern to come in. Now we obviously like see what's happening there. We got a double top, and then we got boom, a bearish engulfing. So yeah, you can enter, right? Some people do, some people don't. Like I'm not here to make a strategy for you. I'm here to show you the little trick of just utilizing support resistance with a trend line in it and seeing how like powerful it can be in that sense, to where like the trade just starts to like help you like a lot better, right? Because like I said, even here, the trade, right? Let's say you have like maybe a 30 pip stop loss or 25, whatever you want to call it, right? Boom. Regardless, you still got another 1 to 3 here, right? And that's just it. It's just like, yo, like you can easily make this a good strategy for you, or not even only a strategy, but a good like tip to help you out. Maybe this is like some sort of idea to say, okay, cool. Well, man, I should really like use this the trend line in my support resistance if you have a support resistance strategy, whatever the case is. But what I'm saying is this, not strategy, but this system of using more than just one thing on your chart is what's really gonna like improve your trading. Because I know a lot of traders out there, they want to just like, hey, I'm just gonna use one thing and that's gonna be my one thing or one reason why I'm gonna enter, and whatever the case is, that's not gonna help you. I'm almost guaranteeing you're gonna fall into a lot of stress, because you're gonna automatically say to yourself, man, like I got one confirmation and that's it. Minimum, try to get at least 3 confirmations, right? So I'll tell you this for this much, right? My confirmations in this is one, it's a downtrend. I can tell the trend, right? Because I got lower lows and lower highs being created, right? Boom, lower high, lower low, right here, boom. So and then now came back up to test and create another lower high that I'm expecting, right? So that's one. Second is a retest of my structure resistance, right? Boom, that's 2, right? Another one is a third one is a bounce of a trend line. Boom, right there, right? Now, if I wanted to, like, I'm not gonna get into this, but let's just say that maybe I had fibs on here, right? Maybe I had fibs from the high to the low. Boom, right? Boom. And now look, I got a rejection off the 78. So I just put 4 of them, right? And I'm not using zones or anything like that, right? But it's in my kill zone or whatever the case you want to call it. This is basically how like you utilize this, right? And then it's just doing that alone is just like helping you tremendously in your trading. So be very, 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 very like respectful to your rules. Like I'm not trying to give you everything. Like I said, I'm not trying to overwhelm. I don't want to overwhelm. So I want to just show you guys like it's really just that simple to give yourself that type of knowledge to help yourself become better in the sense of adding like and this goes for anything like you can like we can take all this off here, boom, and I can show you like even when it was coming down, right? Even when it was coming down, boom, it came down, right? Got another one here, then it went back up, and it didn't quite hit the resistance, right? Now, yeah, it broke the trend line, right? But just because it breaks the trend line, it doesn't mean that it's going to change trend, right? We still like are going downward until we end up breaking towards the upside, right? So now it came down, boom, it made a lower low, then ended up making a double bottom, and then boom, ended up breaking out, obviously broke structure here, and then boom, came back. And now this is where you start. This is gone now. So now this is where you start to draw your trend line now towards the upside, right? You can draw it towards the upside if you want. Now draw it towards the upside, right? In this case, there's not a lot to work with here. So you obviously have to like see like where your trend line would come from. Like if you know like it's here, it's not doing well, you gotta mess with your trend line until you start to get your type of movement. So in this case, you got one bounce here, another bounce that almost went to it, but then you got your initial bounce here. So you got your 2 bounces here, right? And then this is your third one. So this is the third one where you need to have like an eye to say, okay, cool, I got it here now, but I wanted to, if it to keep continuing going towards the upside, right? So it kind of broke out here, but then it kept going. So this is where you would just adjust your trend line, right? And then the same thing, going in that direction where it came, boom, it broke. Okay, but it still didn't, it maintained structure, and then it continued going towards your TP, right? And that's it. And then it, as you can see, like as it did that, right? Even it's not there. Boom. As it did that, right? Even if it touched here, came down, touched here, and it kept going, right? Now what you're doing here is once it broke through, you can see that it's going to end up like coming down to here and then possibly coming back, possibly testing this resistance, and then either continue falling or going towards the upside. So right now I have more of a sense of it continuing more towards the downside. So boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So this can potentially like head lower. So right now is just like this is just a retracement leg. You see what I'm saying? So this is where you really, really gotta like look at the trend. Like even man, like this was clean. This was clean right here. This was clean. This was clean. Oh man, like even if you take this off, like oh, that was clean. Yep, that was clean right there. But yeah, anyway, but trend lines on support resistance, it's a very clean touch, right? Now, here's the reason why I'm introducing like the trend lines to the support resistance, right? When you have support resistance, right? Two lines, right? When you have support resistance, right? What do you think support resistance is on a trend line? Right? It's support resistance. That's it. That's it. This is, if you're buying, this is your support, this is your resistance. That's it. That's all it is. That's it. So when you start to see market come down and test that line, that's support. And as it starts to go back up, it's testing resistance. Is just that simple. Don't make it too like complicated. And then you continuously use that in your trading to where it can like benefit for you. Like even if you use it in the sense, okay, cool. Oh, it's a downtrend. Cool. Well, let me draw my my trend line, and then when it breaks down, I'm gonna go ahead and look for that break of trend to then continue towards the downside. Right? You can use that in any form of way, right? But your theory, right, of using the support and resistance on how you draw support and resistance is on the chart that, or time frame, excuse me, that you're going to use when you're actually marking it up. So I'm not saying like draw a bunch of lines on every single time frame. No, pick your structured time frame, your structured time frame, like what you're basing trend on, and then draw it on there, and then use your trend lines on that same time frame, right? So now for this, we'll move this over here for now. We'll just keep this here. So now for this, we're gonna also use the you know what? No, we're also gonna use this, all right? Because this is important. I don't want to lose sight of this. So we're gonna also use this, but now we're gonna use, right? Trick to watch price, right? So use a trend line to spot key areas, areas for rejection. Boom, that's it, right? Whoa, Z1A. Rejection, that's it, right? So rule number one, and we'll do rule number two, right? Like I said, I'm trying to keep it simple and sweet, right? Rule number one, rule number two. Rule number one is there must be 2 touches before area of for let me see. Oh, what the hell? There must be 2 touches before area of opportunity. Yeah, that sounds right, right? Yeah, there must be 2 touches before the area opportunity, meaning that you want to get 1 touch, 2 touch, and then this is your entry right here, right? So going to the downside, that's your entry, right? It's more like here, and like you get a touch in here. So let me show you real quick. Oh, so like I said, like, oh my gosh, come on, bro. So let's just say you got one as you draw it here, you got 1 touch, 2 touch, and then this will be entry here. Okay, so leaving it like that. Okay, boom. No one's doing opportunity. Yep. And then rule number two. Rule number two. Price must bounce off the trend line at a support or resistance line. That's it. That's it. It's just that easy. Simple as that. So these little 2 rules right here that you have for each of these right here, if you follow these 4 rules, right? Let's just say 4. You will see the clarity on how you see the market even better. Like that's it. And the fact of you drawing support resistance is gonna elevate your scope, your eyesight of spotting the trend. Like it's so just simplistic that all you have to do is just follow the trend. That's it. Just follow it, and you're gonna see like the change and how that works. Like easily how like that works. So don't come like even if you did on the daily time frame, right? Boom, right? Did on daily time frame. Boom. Let's change this to, let's say, red. Boom. Right? Daily time frame. Right? Again, don't do this on 100 time frames. I'm just saying, like, utilize it, like I said. Here, right? Middle of this and this. Okay, boom, boom. I'm using this peak and this peak as my middle for these 2. So boom. So now when you start to see that, you can see, okay, cool. Price was here, it came back up. Now I want to see if it didn't respect any of my levels here. Let's say these aren't here. I'm gonna wait for it to come back up to here and then come right back down. And look, you could have got one opportunity here, another opportunity here, right? So where it came back up, even here, right? This is an area here as well. So like it's crazy. Like let me okay, maybe I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone, right? So this is your daily. This is your next daily hit. This is your daily, right? So you got here. You have the lower high. Excuse me for my 3rd grade drawing. Daily lower low. DLO. Daily lower low. And then you have a daily high. That's it. So I'll put a high because it's not a higher high, or it's not a lower high. Neither, like it's still the same. It's the same height as that. So basically you have this. Boom. So then when price comes back up to your daily level, this is where you go down to a low time frame, look for a good pattern or entry, like whatever fits your needs, and then boom, take it right back down to this. So like just doing that alone is just like, oh, like it's amazing. Like that's it. And then again, doing the same thing, boom, 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 right? Let's say price came down, right? Price first hit here and then it came right back down. Look how I respected off that zone again. Boom, came right back down. It went back up, respected that zone again after it respected this zone here, right? And then came right back down, right? That's it. And like it's just that like much of a beauty. And look at this candle, broke right out. Boom. What we got, little retest, or if you want to call this candle here the retest, and then we got that that bullish movement towards the other side trend here. So clean this up. I hear my charts are like, ugh. But yeah. So in this sense, right, and I'm just showing you daily, like I'm showing that it works on any time frame that you would like to be on, right? Because some traders don't like to use the H4. They rather use the daily. They rather, there's different types of traders, right? And I'm gonna dive into that later. But all in all, I wanted just to bring you like another video of how you can use support and resistance lines, and also using the trend lines for gauging a entry if you'd like to spot an entry. Or, it's not a strategy, but it's something that I can just like, give you a heads up on or give you some little insight on. But I hope that finds you well. I'm not, like I said, I don't want to make this too long. And yeah, if you guys got any question, comments, let me know what's your favorite pair. Put it down in the chat. If you have anything you want me to cover, let me know. I'm always willing to dive in on new videos like I can make. But aside from that, let me know. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Peace. Have a good day. God bless everyone and have a good one. Peace.